All right, welcome. In this video, we're looking at RadioDJ 3001. But what I'm going to show you today is actually in all versions 2.0 and above. And that is the ability to show how many listeners you actually have. Now, you've probably seen this in RadioDJ, but didn't know how to implement it. Because to be honest with you, there wasn't a way to really do it. So I had to create something. But in RadioDJ, doesn't matter what version, 2.0 and above, on the history tab. The history tab is where the listeners are going to show up. That is the only place they will show up. So let's go over to the wrench because we have to turn it on. By default, it's turned off. We're going to go to the wrench. We're going to go to plugins and we're going to go to history and double click on history. And as you see, we have the plugin zone that it's in. It's in zone 3. How many rows to display? I think you can do 300 songs in a day. So I do like 320. Just so if I need to go back way back early in the day, I can. But you see you have show listener count in this checkbox. By default, it's not checked. So we're going to check it. The other thing you have to do is you have to point to where is this listener file located at. So what I did was in the program I'm getting ready to show you, I've already pointed the file to the same folder that this particular RadioDJ is in. And as you can see, I got a couple of things in here because I was testing things out. So I'm going to select this WNIA Gospel Radio listeners. And I'm going to select that and hit close and hit OK. Now, what you see now is an online listener box that shows you your peak. You know, I was testing it on the station. It shows the peak number of listeners and the current number of listeners. So now that we understand how to get the listener count in RadioDJ, the question really becomes, how do I get my listener counts from my streaming server? Well, that's where this little program right here comes into play. It's called CS Stream Listeners. What it does is it allows you to add, like on my station, I have on my site, on PC, I have 3 stations. So I made it to where you can have multiple stations using this one app. So since we did the gospel radio one, I'm select that one, and as you can see, it has a stream already in it. And if I click run now, it'll go and get the total number of listeners, which I don't believe this is the right stream. But anyway, but you may be somebody like me and other people that have multiple streams going to different places, streaming servers for that one station, where you can just add more streams. You can add as many streams as you need. And you're going to select what type of stream it is, whether Shoutcast 1, Shoutcast 2, Icecast 2, and Legacy Icecast. You can also give it a name over here. And then over here, you're going to put in this format, HTTPS host:/port. And then over here, the mount port. Okay. So let's take these out. Now, down here at the bottom is where you want to point to where is that output going to go to. And as you can see, I've already put it in that RadioDJ 3001 folder. And because this is the name of this station, it automatically names that. So when I browse to that, it automatically names it for me. And when you hit save, it's going to save it. So if I add another station, I'm going to click on new station. I'm going to give it a name. enter. It's going to give me a couple of options. The first option is going to say, do I want to create a shortcut? You can if you want to. And it's telling me here that when I create a task schedule, because you're going to have to create a task schedule, one for each station. So if you got 5 stations in here, you're going to have 5 task schedulers. Because even though this is one software, you got 5 different, 5 or more, 2 or more, 3 or more, whatever stations, and they have to each have their own task scheduler. Well, it gives you what to do. So it says here for the task scheduler background update, when you get to the tab that says, I think it's actions, you got your general, then you got your trigger. And the trigger, you're going to set it for daily or one time, but then you're going to scroll down and say, I want this to do it every 2 minutes indefinitely. But then on the actions tab, you're going to point to the location of the exe file for this program. But in the tab that says arguments, you're going to have to put --run space -- profile and then the name of the station in quotes. That will go in the arguments. Okay. So I've added this station and now I have to add a stream. More than likely it's going to be IceCast. So let me go and just grab a stream. Just going to plug something in there. Paste it in there, hit enter. And my mount point for that one is stream. Hit enter. So if I hit run now, if this is an actual stream, it'll get the listeners, 7 listeners. Now, okay, so now with now that I have the stream in here, I'm going to go down here and I'm going to point this to that RadioDJ folder. And this is important. That this file is not going to show up until you run it first. So I'm going to point it over here. See, it's not in there. So I'm going to save it. Right. So it is pointing to that 3001 folder, but this file hasn't been created yet. So in order to create this file, I need to hit run now. Okay. Now that it has ran, I can go back over here to plugins, the history plugins, and I can look to see if that file is there, and we see it is there. Now I can select that file for that station. If this was Real People Talk Radio, and select it and then hit close and hit OK. And within a few minutes, this will update the number of listeners for that setting for that station. So after you create a station, let's look at this one. I don't have anything for that one. So after you create a station, and you put in your stream information and you point to where you want it to go, click run now. So it'll generate this text file. Then you can go on RadioDJ and select that file. And it's really that simple. So you can have as many stations. Like I said, I have a client that has 10 stations. So for him, he can list all 10 stations on here. But of course, he's going to have to make 10 task schedules. So let me pause the video and show you what that looks like. Okay, so now that I have task schedules set up, what you want to do is click on create a task. We don't want basic because it's hard to do. So let's do Real People Talk. I'm going to call it Get Real People Talk Listeners. Okay. We're going to run whether you're logged in or not. Do not prompt or store password. Yeah, we can run with privileges, and we want to run hidden. I am on 10. The trigger. We're going to select new. You can do one time, and you can say down here, repeat every, instead of every hour, it Gives you 5 minutes, but I'm going to change that to 2. And then this will be indefinitely. So it'll always run this particular thing whenever the computer reboots. All right. Then for our actions, we're going to click to go and get this program. And then right here, we want to put dash dash or minus minus together. The word run, space, minus minus, profile, space, space, quotes, the name of the station, I think is Real People Talk Radio, quotes. And then to start in, we're just going to go all the way down to the exe and stop just before the exe. Put that in there. And that's what it would look like when you are setting up the task scheduler. And then see, that's for Real People Radio, Real People Talk Radio. I would have to do the same thing for Elevate Praise Gospel Radio. And I would have to do the same thing. So I would have to make multiple. I would have to create a task, one for each station. I'm also going to suggest that you stagger them so they're not trying to run at the same time, because it's the same one program. Should be fine, but I would stagger them. So if one is at 8:05, maybe the next one will be, they're doing it every 2 minutes. 8:10 will be the next one. I'll do them 5 seconds apart from each other. They don't take but a second to run. And let's see, let's go back to the Real People Talk one. No, I'm not going to run it from here. Let me see. I just threw some stuff in here. I don't know which one that really is. Let's click on the run and see if it's changed. It's still 6. See if I can find out which one that is. I know which one that is. That's not Real People Talk, but I know where that's coming from. So let me see if I can get that number up. And I probably should have changed the task scheduler to maybe run every minute. So let's do that. I'm going to trigger this to run every 1 minute. So we want to see if the number down here changes just from the task scheduler. And so that's all you have to do. And now you have a way to get your listeners into RadioDJ, all with the magic of this little program here. Available right now on carterscripts.com. Okay, as you can see, it picked up me. I added myself to the listeners. So you can see it will update. I got it set for every 1 minute. Now, if you click run now, of course, it'll update here. This doesn't update in real time with the task scheduler. This only updates on this page or on the app when you click run now. That's the only time that updates. Hope this has helped. This is a wonderful little tool. At least now you'll be able to see how many listeners you really have on your station. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And come check out carterscripts.com. We got a lot of good stuff over there for Radio DJ and Sam Broadcaster.